I've been playing a ton of Starfield. Absolutely loving this game. I've checked out some of the discourse online of these folks who are upset that the game offers pronouns. I just wanted to speak to that very briefly because there's this one guy, like a lot of them are grifters, right? A lot of them are just like, oh, make money, whatever, dude, go fuck up society to make your ducats, whatever. Capitalism sucks, at least the way we have it now, and I get it. I don't appreciate it, I don't condone it, but I get it. But there are those that are serious. There's this one guy, I don't know his show. I know he has like a Super Nintendo logo. He did a pretty good interview with Colin Moriarty, my buddy, a couple of weeks ago, which I enjoyed. But he put this video out about the pronouns. This is not the guy who was shouting and looks like a thumb, although I look like a thumb too, but fuck you. He was just kind of going, I think, I know his comparison was, he's like, hey, because he lives, I guess, in a place where there's lots of Mormons coming to your door. And he's like, well, what if the Mormons came to your door and said, let us proselytize? And it's like, no, thanks, goodbye. And they leave, and 5 minutes later they come back, and it's like, no thanks, goodbye. And they come back again 10 minutes later, and it's like, oh my fucking God, stop shoving this down my throat kind of thing. That's the idea. And he's like, it's the same thing, see? And it's like, first off, just very briefly, no, it's not the same thing. You didn't pay for the Mormons to come to your door and then complain about it, right? You didn't get a review going. The Mormons will bug you a lot. I don't know if they will. Whenever they came to my door, I would always invite them in and say, yeah, I don't believe in the God you believe in, or any God probably, but let's talk. And we'd talk for 30 minutes and they would just leave kind of like shocked. I don't know if they were more shocked that I invited them in or just that I had made them question their whole life path. But regardless, his take on it was, they're like the Mormons. And I'm like, no, because you didn't pay for the Mormons to bug you or anything. They just came and, you actually went out of your way to install Starfield, to buy Starfield or Game Pass, and that's on you. Okay. And you could have read the reviews or before you did it. Okay. So his analogy is not very good. But beyond that, there's an arrogance there because somebody in his Twitter feed was talking to him about, why are you so upset? Or I forget what the question that prompted his response, but his response was, they're taking away our games. There was this sense of entitlement and ownership. It's like, these are ours and they're taking them away. And I'm like, that is so arrogant and so entitled. I'm like, they're not yours. These are products people make and they hope a lot of people will play them. And sometimes maybe there is a go woke, go broke scenario that occurs. And a lot of times there's not, where you can go woke and still make a lot of money. Barbie's a pretty woke fucking movie. Most successful movie in the history of Warner Brothers, more than Harry Potter, more than Batman. So I don't know what to tell you. But sure, whatever. But it's your choice, and I respect that if you don't want to, be around that. But you aren't entitled to these games. And the funny part or the tragic part is that art and creativity, look, the it's usually made by people who are not conservative minds. And I don't mean this disrespectfully when I say conservatives have more rigid thinking. That's the definition of what a conservative is. They like things the way they were. They don't like a lot of change. They like, a sense of order, and they don't like to mentally put themselves in other people's shoes. They know what they like. They don't go outside the fence all that much, blah, blah, blah. That's a definition of a conservative. Like literally, they are a conservative. They want to conserve the way things are. And that's great. But you're not going to get a lot of artists and theater kids and geeks and out-of-the-box thinkers. And those are the people that tend to make creative entertainment. They just are. And there are some conservative entertainment creators, and there are certainly some conservative creators in the world of video games. Go play those, right? Fox News made a shit ton of money by, recognizing there's this spot. I think they've done a lot of damage, but recognizing there's this spot of super right-wing folks or even just middle-of-the-road conservatives that are like, we want media, we want news. It's a ridiculous concept of we want news for us, but we want news that is spun, just like all the news is spun to some degree, to our worldview, and they've made bank for decades. Okay, so I'm not being a dick when I say go play something else. I'm saying maybe there's a great business in that for people. I mean, hell, I don't imagine tons of liberals and progressives like me were going out and playing Deer Hunter, but that was the massive fucking thing for a long time. But you're not owed Starfield. You're not owed these games. And so if these creative types, of which I am one, and I was one working in that industry for a very long time, have certain views where they are empathetic, or literally they are, in a lot of cases, the people who they are making these decisions about, like whether you're talking about transgender folks or LGBT folks or whatever, they're going to make what they want to make. And I mean, obviously within reason. I mean, it's a business as well, but so far the business has not shown that people like this guy are right. So it's like, just go play, play a game with voice acting with Chuck Norris and Scott Baio and John Schneider. And these are all old guys. Who the fuck is John Schneider? I don't know who the young conservative performers are, but that's all I'm saying. Go be conservative, enjoy it. But don't act as if you're owed creative product that's a certain way. You're not. So it's not like the Mormons. And if you don't like, here's the funniest part though, really quickly. So this was because I've been playing the shit out of Starfield. Love it. Maybe my favorite game of the year, if not beyond. This is a guy who's complaining at the title screen. A bunch of these guys. I saw Disrespect do it, and I saw this guy do it, and I saw the crazy guy do it. I saw that young woman who's like, oh, I'll be sexy and I'll be conservative. That's a sweet grifter spot. Maybe she's serious. I don't know. But you're caught up on a title screen of a game that if you wanted, you can be a captain of your own starship. You can be the manliest motherfucking man in the world. You can make your character look almost just like Joe Rogan, and you can go out into the world and you can create a crew for your spaceship, short of a couple of force missions where you have to go with an individual, where 95% of your experience is traveling around on a spaceship filled with women, right? And they don't have pronouns, and they don't talk about them, they're just a lot of them are hot, depends on the NPCs, but hot women flying around in a starship by a male captain, and he's the only guy on board. You can do that in this game. Tragically, but I mean, I support the medium. You can go around and kill people. As long, you're going to get in trouble for it unless you're really sneaky, but you can do that too. You can go around and kill people you don't like in this game. If you're like, you look like a liberal kind of dumb thinker, I'm going to kill everybody that looks like they watch MSNBC. Okay. You can do that in this game. You can go into the biggest news organization in the known universe of the Starfield universe and lay waste to it, or at least the parts you can get access to. All right. So this game that will let you live out what I consider to be very dumb, dangerous, cruel fantasies, you are, or totally not, could be misogynistic fantasies, but also just really, whatever you're into, sexy fantasies. I'd love to be a ship captain and all the crew. It's like sexy Star Trek, but all the ladies are like Taylor Swift and Selena Gomez. That's a show or a porn anyway. Focus. But you can do that. And that's not misogynistic. That's just fun. That's just sexy porn time. But instead, you won't even give this game that gives you all that freedom the time of day, because on the character creation screen, the developer has put a choice in for those people out in the world who either want to role play with gender or who already are like, hey, that's me. I'm non-binary. I identify as non-binary. I can have my fantasy in this game too. How selfish of you to not want them, to not allow them, to feel as if you are being the one who's harmed here, when you're being given a simulation where you can do, you know, a whole hell of a lot compared to most games to live out whatever fantasies you've got. But it's not okay for them. I mean, talk about entitled and selfish, man. There's a point where you just have to look at yourself in the mirror and go, I'm an asshole, right? I mean, unless you're grifting, you're a different kind of asshole. But if you're serious, you got to look in the mirror and go, wow, I'm a really mean guy. I'm the bully. I'm the fucking bully that I was supposed to hate. But no, that's me. I'm the asshole. Think about that. Think about that.